You look over at Alex, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet, and you try to parse the expression on her face. You worry that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance. You wonder if she's thinking about all of the fun things you could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you. Ordering from one of the same 3 takeout places that you always order from. A sense of disappointing her creeps over you as you picture what the night could have been if you had just accepted the invitation she had made earlier. I know this is a pretty boring Friday night for you. Are you really happy being with me, being like this? She turns to look at you, forehead wrinkled. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from yours just a little. Well, I mean, you start, but are unable to try and think of how to answer. What we can't do is to just say that we want to make sure that we're on the same page, or that we're trying to make sure that we're right for her. What we can do is to say, or to explain that it's not usually what she likes doing. Never mind, which is a horrible choice always, or that we're just honestly telling her we're just worried she gets bored. I mean, these are both okay. Just don't pick never mind. Don't even. I know it's hard, especially if you have depression and self-conscious, thoughts, but it doesn't help. You're just gonna sit there frustrated. Let's take. You know what? Let's get some information. Let's do 3. I know it's not what you'd usually be up to. Alex frowns. What do you mean by that? I just mean you usually like going out and doing things, partying and stuff, you know? She sighs and falls against the couch. It's not like I want to do those things all the time. I like nights in too, just like everyone else. She turns to you, frustration wearing on her face. Sometimes I swear it feels like you don't know me at all. It's not that, Your voice trails off, and you notice that she has an exasperated look on her face that you have seen once or twice when you have conversations like this. Conversations where you're poorly expressing your own self-doubt and insecurities, seeking reassurance, but really feeling like you're making things worse. She sighs again, this time louder, turning towards the flickering screen. I like spending time with you, okay? If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. That annoyed tone in her voice makes you think otherwise, but you take it as a sign that you should probably drop it for now, and you feel badly for upsetting things. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If she wouldn't like it, she wouldn't be here, so... I know people aren't always honest, unfortunately. And sometimes they lie to you and just tell you something like opposite, or sometimes they don't tell you anything at all, like they don't like something and they just won't say anything. So sometimes it can be kind of out of nowhere, but it's like you have to just trust that if something's wrong, people are going to tell you, and if they don't, it's not your fault. It's like we're not mind readers. I mean, I've tried to be that before, but we're not, and constantly asking is just, I don't know, it's just not worth it. No, you see it. It's a breezy Sunday afternoon. You flew out Amanda, an old friend from school that is in town for the weekend, to talk you into leaving the house for coffee and catch up. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since you've last seen each other. And you can't help but feel like they are a lot more accomplished and interesting than you are while listening to them talk about their life after school. When it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and give a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe despite her expressing sincere interest in you and your life. Amanda's known you long enough to read your mood and tone of voice. She leans into and asks a question while gently touching your hand, a look of genuine concern on her face. What's wrong? Well, we can't just go somewhere else and confide. We can't just open up little by little. We can insist that nothing is wrong and change the subject, which is not good. We can defensively ask what she means by that, which is not good. I suppose we can notice that our hands are shaking. Seems... it's also not opening up to her, but... It's such a small question, but it feels like a blow to the gut. You surprise yourself when you realize that your tightly clenched fists are now beginning to shake slightly. Despite your best efforts, you feel tears begin to sting at your eyes. You try to disguise this by tilting your head up and praying they'll suck back in. She suggests that you two get out of there, and you feel mortified. She offers to go back to your apartment with you, but the two of you end up talking in her car for 2 hours as the words just pour forth from you. Amanda seems unsure of what to say at times, but she listens and rubs her back as you sob and talk. She asks if you've gone to a doctor about this, and you admit that you haven't. She mentions that her mother is seeing a very good therapist in town and offers to ask her about it. You're not thrilled about the idea of going to a therapist, and even less thrilled that Amanda might be telling someone about your problems, but she persists and tells you she'll email you the doctor's contact information later in the week. Alright, that's the first step. It's a glaringly sunny Monday, and one of the few days that your brother Malcolm is in town and free long enough for you two to actually see each other. You have a dental appointment that day, but you make plans for him to pick you up afterward. Your appointment takes a little longer than expected because your dentist tells you that you've started grinding your teeth in your sleep to a worrying degree. Given how nearly everything in your life has been feeling enormous and stressful lately, this doesn't come as a surprise to you. He suggests that you try to reduce your stress levels and fits you for a night guard. It feels awkward and too big for your mouth, and you feel embarrassed looking at your puffed out face in the mirror with it. You finish up the appointment in a hurry and leave about a half hour overdue for meeting your always punctual brother in the parking lot. You finish up as quickly as possible and leave the building to scan the parking lot for your brother's car, but you don't see his old Civic anywhere. You pass by a blue Camaro and jump as it beeps at you, causing you to jump in surprise. It takes you a moment to realize, but it's Malcolm in the driver's seat. You hop in the passenger seat and compliment him on his new ride, and he mentions that it's a perk of a promotion he's recently obtained at work. He starts telling you about how much more money he's making, how his career is really taking off, and how he's starting to look at houses with his wife soon. You clutch the bag containing the night guard in your hand and feel yourself clench your teeth as you think of your crummy apartment and how long it's been since you've been able to take a day off work without having to worry about making ends meet. He's only 2 years older than you, but it feels like he's eons ahead of you in every other aspect of your life. So, he asks, how did your appointment go? Did you get drilled full of holes or what? A sense of shame creeps over you. We can't laugh about our dorky night guard with our brother. We can't tell him about the night guard and why we need it. We can lie. Or we can tell him about our tooth grinding problem. We shouldn't lie. So we pick 4. The dentist said I'm apparently grinding my teeth too much when I sleep. Oh? Malcolm replies. Been stressed out lately, kiddo? Deciding that you don't really want to go into it, you tell him that you don't think that's the case and it's probably just a random thing. He doesn't pry further, and instead begins reminiscing with you about the time you chipped a baby tooth because he accidentally knocked you over once. You go out for dinner and catch up on things, but you still feel somewhat distracted by the gnawing anxiety in the back of your mind. Though you enjoy your brother's company, you still feel like you want nothing more than to go home and hide from the world tonight. It becomes hard for you to try to stuff all of your horrible feelings down and go emotionless when someone like the dentist can see a fraction of what goes on inside your head. It leaves you feeling embarrassed and weak, and you hate yourself for feeling that way. You wonder if you're really fooling anyone into thinking you're a normal person. And then you wonder if your brother knows and is hanging out with you out of pity tonight. After he drops you back off at your apartment, you throw the night guard out. You can't stand to even look at the thing. It's a dry Sunday morning. You grab your morning coffee and scoot your rapidly growing kitten off your office chair, and despite her protests, sit down at your desk to check your email. A new message pops up in your inbox almost as soon as you do. It's from Amanda, and you remember your meeting in a cafe and awkwardly bringing up your feelings to her. Subject: Hey buddy. Body: Hey, sorry it's been a few weeks. I meant to get this to you sooner, but it took a while for me to get a hold of my folks back home. Dad told me to say hi, by the way. Anyway, I remembered what we talked about last time I saw you, and I hope you aren't insulted, but I asked my mom for the number for her therapist. Don't worry, I didn't tell her for who it was. I think she's worried about me now, though. Anyway, the number is 647-723-5274. It's a really good office. You should look into it. Talking to someone never hurts. If you're worried about money, don't be. They're one of the few that has a really good sliding scale fee system and won't charge you what you can't afford. I hope you're feeling better. It was really nice to see you again. A. It's still early enough that you can call and make an appointment today. Your kitten curls up in your lap as you consider what to do. So what we can't do is just call and looking forward to the help. And we can't try to call even though it makes us anxious. What we can do is sleep on it and see how we're feeling. Or close the email and just basically ignore it. We should sleep on it and then do it. The thought of picking up the phone and calling someone about this right now is overwhelming. Sure, you're having a hard time lately and have motivation issues, but are you really in need of therapy? Shouldn't you be able to just get over it yourself? What if they put you on medication that makes you feel like a zombie? What if you go and the therapist looks down on you? What will Alex think about this? Trying to think about all these things at once makes it feel like a very big deal, and you decide to take your time to think on it. The rest of the day passes quickly, and that night you have a hard time trying to sleep because your brain is too busy thinking about all these things and imagining all of the ways it could go horribly wrong. The next morning, you check your email again with blurry eyes and meowing kitten. Amanda's email is still there, seemingly waiting for you. You are no more decided than you were yesterday. What now? I've been here. It takes a lot of pride to accept that you need help and that you can't just fix it yourself because it's that serious. And don't ever listen to people who say that you can fix it yourself, or that you're just exaggerating or whatever. Call somebody who knows how to deal with this. That's their job. They're not gonna look down on you. It's their job. There's enough people out there who have depressions. They can't look down on you for that. It's a thing. It's that serious. So what we're gonna do is that we're calling